What's good, guys? Okay, so as promised, I wanted to do this video just to help you understand the sessions, okay, that we talk about all the time. The Asian session, the UK session, and of course the US session. Now, these sessions themselves are really good at helping you work out the intention of the markets, or should I say the market maker, at particular sessions. Now, I've said the word sessions many times in the last 10-20 seconds. So if you like the word sessions, mad love and respect, be sure to like and subscribe. Anyways, jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the flavor of what we're talking about. So when I make reference to Asia, you hear me talk about Asia, you hear me talk about the US session. Now, these are things that you need to be mindful of when we talk about these time zones, all right? Asia is a quiet time. There's not that much volatility, but when the volatility is present, okay, things will be reflected in the UK and the US session, okay? Just look at what happened last night, all right? Not last night, the night before, okay? So that would be the 21st. Asia drops, and it drops aggressively, okay? Then, coming into the open of the Frankfurt session, which is in this area here, which is the European markets, we then have the UK open, and then we have a follow-through to come back up. If we actually look at the candlesticks on the lower time frames, you can see that the vector candles were present in the chart. All right, you can see, look what happened here. That was going on the 21st. They come back down, red vector zone, another wick, and then they come all the way back up and recovered near enough all of these imbalances in the zone. Okay, so how can we really utilize this information to, in essence, set us up for what we can expect moving forward into the UK and the US session? Well, check this out. In Asia, on the 20th of February, now listen, I know I'm talking in hindsight, all right? But go back in the charts, mark my words, you're going to see this behavior. And the idea is to train your eyes to be familiar with it so that you can then be prepared, all right, and not be the person that thinks, oh, look, price has been moving up to the upside. I'm waiting for the New York session so it can continue to move higher. Don't be that person, all right? But pay attention to what's going on here. This is the Asian session on the 20th. They start off with marking price higher, retrace back down, then they continue up with the movement. Now, remember, they've been dropping price. So with this drop in price, they've actually recovered those areas, okay? Now we're coming into towards the midpoint of the actual Asian session itself. They've hit price high to the upside. Happy days. There's volatility in the Asian session. Are they preparing for something? They come into the UK session right here, which is the Frankfurt Open as well, in this zone. And then you can see the UK session then decides to follow through and drop price all the way to the downside, recovering all of this previous zone by the Asian session. Now, with the aggressive nature of the UK session marking price down lower, the US session then can see that it's got an opportunity to get some positions filled based on what the UK session has done. So the principle would say that when the UK session drops price, they could be marking down price, preparing the US to follow through with a move back up again, which will bring us into the Brinks box of the US session. Now, the Brinks box is usually the first hour of trading where they set up price to realize a movement in a particular direction. You know, in the US, the Brinks truck where it brings the money, this is in principle the moment where price is getting ready to set up to make a move in one zone to the next. And as you can see, the US session right there, 2 p.m. GMT UK time, roughly about 8 o'clock in the morning US, they prepare the move and then they shift back up and then recover the previous zones. You see, the market makers in this game of trading do work together. All right, because when you look at it, it's like this. Market makers in the UK had gone long by making the trades happen to the downside, giving the retail trader the belief that they're getting ready to go short. So the price is dropping. Market makers in UK are building their longs to the downside. Now, guys in the US have an opportunity to also take advantage of this volatility. They then too step in and recover all of the liquidity that has been placed to the downside by the market makers in the UK. The market makers in the US are then able to exploit that liquidity and build their shorts. And of course, the UK guys can build shorts as well at the same time and mark price to the upside. And then in the same session, they can all just drop it in one instance. You see how they can work together. By having an understanding of what's going on in one session against the next is going to give you that edge to understand how to approach the market on every single trading day. Let's go into price action right now. Look at what's happened with Bitcoin. All right, let me just remove all of this. Asia last night marks price down lower. Okay, so we know that at some point we're likely going to see them come back up. In the same session, they followed through and returned back to price. The UK session marks price up, okay? Recovers the previous zone, makes higher ground. UK session continues with that higher ground. We come into the US brink session. So what can you see in the chart? We can see liquidity. UK has built the shorts at the highest possible point. US session comes in, stop hunt rise in this area here, contain the range. Are they getting ready to run to the shorts so they can build longs at lower prices? Let's see. Because that's what, in principle, what we are waiting for. Okay? We've used the context of Asia, has prepared price for the UK. UK now has prepared their positions for the US. US, in principle, is either going to follow through or continue to move price a little bit more before they then decide to try and bring it back down again, or they could actually just make a run to liquidity to the downside. All right? This is what we're trying to establish. All right? Keep going back in the charts and mark off areas where you see the Asian session showing volatility. All right, so look at this. Asia starts off with a big sell-off, but they contain the range, okay, and then they move straight up to the upside. This big move to the upside was the clue that they were favoring lower prices. Go back in the streams, ladies and gentlemen, and you'll understand what I'm talking about because I do mention this price action. All right. In the UK session, they mark price up and initiate a stopping volume candle, but look at where they came up to. They came up smack bang to the tip right there. Look at these two pins to the high right there. Okay? They had contained and controlled price. We know that they like to return to vectors. So by principle, if you were to mark up this zone right here, you can see that coming into the UK brink session, they marked price down lower. So sorry, coming out of the UK brinks, the UK session drops price to the downside, recovers the majority of the wick in this zone. They mark price up again. And then guess what? They prepare the US, building the shorts at the highest possible point, contain the range right here, and then bang, they drop it to the downside. They follow through with the US session to build longs at lower prices, and then the US does the dirty and then brings it all the way back up and brings it straight back into the tip of that red vector candle. Look at that, and the wick. It's despicable at their precision. When you see this sort of thing happening, ladies and gentlemen, you kind of find it difficult to assume that it's not a managed industry. All they care about is the flow of money. That's all they care about. And our goal in this stream is to try and get you aware of these plays so that you can exploit them. It's not that we don't like the market maker. It's just we don't like what he does, but unfortunately we profit from his behavior. It's a double-edged sword. You know, it's catch-22. That's the situation. All right. So this video, I hope it has served and it's helped the new guys who are coming into the channel on trying to understand what it is that I mean about Asia, the UK and the New York session. One thing you've got to be mindful of about New York, guys, is the reversals. New York is famous for reversals. You can see a high being made and you can see a low being made. And that's the low and the high that is formed in the New York session. Forget about the day's high and the day's low. Okay, just focus on the highs that are being made in the New York session because they can be exploited. All right. Listen, thank you very much again, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like and subscribe. By the way, if you are new, these indicators are free of charge. Make your way over to the Traders Reality website and you can get access to it. Join the Discord and it's all there for you. Mad love and respect to all of you people. Have yourself a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves. Peace.